I wouldn't be able to go on a stage in example shoes like this. Well, I could go on a stage in it. Could I perform in it and dance? Probably not. Hi, my name's Raspberry and I am the dyspraxic diva of Dundee. Let me tell you a story about how I started drag. I was going through a lot. All my life had completely fallen apart at me. It was lovely. I told myself, okay, everything is at the absolute pit. What is one thing I could do to make myself genuinely happy? So I looked into all my local drag shows. I'd never even been to a single one, but the first one I saw, I signed my name up for. I just marched onto that stage full of confidence. I stomped from beginning to end and I loved every single moment of it. I fell in love with performing. I wouldn't do like big crazy dance moves. I wouldn't go all out all the time. And that was mainly because of a physical thing I have called dyspraxia. Dyspraxia is a developmental condition that affects stuff like your coordination, your joint movement, your ability to stay still, basically. For example, look at my hand here. This is my hand. It will never be steady. This is as steady as it's ever gonna get. And walking in heels, for example, becomes a bit of a challenge when you can't exactly keep your body even. But I make it work every single time I get on a stage and I try and make something of it. A good example of this would be, I wouldn't be able to go on a stage in example shoes like this. A lovely stiletto boot. Well, I could go on a stage in it. Could I perform in it and dance? Probably not. I prefer a shoe like this, for example. These are my Old Faithfuls. These have been with me since I started. They've got a lovely sizable chunk. They will stop me from decking it. And also they're black, so they go with almost every outfit. Dyspraxia can affect people in a lot of different ways. A good example of how it's affected me in a very negative way was I was doing a comedy roast that was hosted by one of my good friends. And it was the first time I'd ever openly spoke on a mic before. Seeing this is my first time, I was very, very anxious. I grabbed that mic, I looked into the audience very blankly, and as I spoke, the microphone was like this, and then it got so bad my vocal cords themselves started shaking, and I was saying my words like this. It was one of the saddest things anyone had ever seen. You'd almost think because it was a comedy roast it'd be funny. I come from a scene that is full of some of the greatest performers in Scotland. So many people can dance and completely own a stage by how they can move their body and how they can control themselves. When you're like me and you shake constantly, that's not exactly in your wheelhouse. So I decided to use my skills in comedy, and I use that to my advantage instead. So instead of going about, doing 8 counts and flips and dips, I would do comedy numbers, comedy mixes, showing people my brain and not letting dyspraxia own my life as much as it could. The fun fact about dyspraxia actually is thought to affect about 10% of the UK population. Did you know that? I didn't know that. Dyspraxia doesn't hold me back. At the end of the day, it makes me more confident. And if I can do all of this with dyspraxia, anyone can do anything that they set their minds to. Maybe we all just need to find our inner confidence. I'm Raspberry, and if you don't see me soon, you'll see me wobbling down the street.